So I created a story with ChatGBT. And it's actually fucking amazing. What the hell? So I might have gotten carried away and created a multi-part series, each with its own unique story. These stories are all related to fairy tales in some way, so I like to call these stories
Once upon a time, in a quaint and seemingly peaceful village named Hamlin, a dark shadow loomed over the innocent residents. This shadow was the Pied Piper, not the charming musician portrayed in the original tale, but a sinister being with a twisted agenda. The village of Hamlin was plagued by an infestation of rats. The vermin were everywhere, devouring crops, spreading disease, and causing widespread misery. The villagers sought help from the mayor and the town council, but their efforts were futile. They were on the brink of despair when the Pied Piper appeared, emerging from the depths of the forest. Unlike the colorful, lively clothes described in the traditional story, this piper wore a tattered, ebony cloak that seemed to absorb all light around him. His face was hidden beneath a haunting mask, and his eyes gleamed with an eerie, malevolent aura. The piper offered a deal. In exchange for ridding the village of rats, he demanded an exorbitant fee. The mayor, desperate to save the village from ruin, reluctantly agreed. But when the piper began to play his flute, the melody that filled the air was far from enchanting. It was a haunting tune that sent shivers down the spines of all who heard it. The rats, instead of being lured away, were driven into a frenzied madness. They tore through the village, attacking and devouring anyone who crossed their path. In the chaos, the villagers realized the true darkness of the piper's intentions. They tried to revoke the agreement, but the piper's contract was sealed with dark magic. Defying him would bring dire consequences, and the village was trapped in a nightmare of death and destruction. As the piper's sinister music echoed through the village, the rats disappeared into the forest, leaving behind a trail of blood and death. But the piper's malevolence didn't end there. With the village now bound to him by a terrible curse, he returned to exact a more dreadful revenge. One fateful night, a year after the rat infestation, the Pied Piper reappeared. This time, the haunting melody was more insidious than before. The sweet notes entranced the children of Hamlin, luring them from their beds and into the night, following the piper without question. The villagers awoke to an empty town, devoid of all the children they held dear. The grief-stricken parents begged for mercy, but the piper remained merciless. He had taken the souls of the children as payment for his services, adding them to his entourage of lost souls trapped in the darkness. From then on, Hamlin became a place of sorrow and despair. The villagers lived in perpetual fear of the Pied Piper's return, praying that their own children would not become victims to his darker lore. And so, the twisted version of The Pied Piper ends, a tale of horror, sorrow, and loss. The dark figure of the piper continues to haunt the village of Hamlin, a reminder of the price paid when deals are struck with malevolence and the darkness within the human heart.